Good morning. Hope everybody's staying warm. Obviously, 2 home games this week for us. So last week, 3 road games, challenge, a lot of travel, ups and downs, injuries, sickness, the whole ordeal. I didn't think that we played our best basketball. I did think that we showed some fight and some resiliency, and obviously splitting the road trip in the league and winning at Liberty was certainly a fortunate result. I think in the last 10 minutes, our guys really stuck together and were able to play some high-level basketball in order to get that win. A little disappointed that we couldn't build on that at FIU. At the same time, we have a chance now to regroup, come back here for a few days, and play Jacksonville State and Kennesaw State at home. So looking forward to that opportunity. Looking forward to getting back in front of our Hilltopper fans here at Diddle Arena, and hopefully we're ready to go tomorrow night.
Okay, just going into that, how are you guys now, injuries, illness-wise?
Yeah, everybody except Baba is practicing and good to go. So I don't think we have any documented. We had a little bit of the flu last week, had a little bit of the stomach bug that's going around. We haven't had anybody, I guess, noticeably sick in the last 3 to 4 days. So hopefully the rest and sleeping in our own beds and consistency can help with that. So everybody else should be good to go.
What is the latest on Bob?
He's rehabbing right now. I think the plan originally when he got hurt was to do a follow-up MRI after about 4 weeks. This weekend is 4, so hoping that whether that's an MRI or imaging or seeing the doctor, I'm hoping that by after here this 4-week check mark that we have some kind of clarity on what the timeline is. He has a knee injury that we're hoping is healing on its own, but obviously there'll be follow-up 4-week follow-up to see if that healing is occurring and he's progressing, or if it's going to take a little bit longer.
Coach, over the weekend, kind of similar offensive efforts in the first half of both those games, but obviously with Liberty able to go in that really strong run in the end to get the win. What kind of inhibited y'all from doing that on a Saturday?
I'm not exactly sure. But I think what you're referring to is probably struggled offensively in the first half of both games. We've got to come out of the gates a little bit sharper, obviously. If it was just a magic answer that we knew why that was happening and we could fix it, it would be fixed, but that happened in all 3 games last week. I'm not sure if that's overthinking or over-preparing or being too reckless or need to run more structured stuff or need to run less. We're obviously tinkering and working with that, but we need to be a better offensive team in the first half of games. If we continue to dig ourselves into holes, we're not going to be able to win. There's other good teams too, so you're not going to be able to come back and win every one. The FIU game it was just kind of a physical up and down game. Their pressure took us out of our rhythm. In neither game we shot the ball very well. I think we did go 4 for our last 5 from 3 versus Liberty, and obviously that helped us win the game. Felt like we never got an offensive routine or rhythm against FIU, and like I said, if you just keep putting yourself in those positions mentally, it can be challenging. It's your odds of winning when you're down 15 at the half are a lot less than if you're up 15. So we're just putting ourselves in. I guess I don't take it for granted what we did versus Liberty. I think the comeback was an impressive performance, an impressive show of our inner strength. At the same time, I don't think we're going to be able to do that every time. So I think the focus has to be on getting off to better starts and making sure we're a more efficient together basketball team in the first half of games.
Coach, with this Conference USA schedule, you have Thursday, Saturday games for the most part, so really quick turnarounds, especially if you're on the road. But this week, have a little bit of a break and then back at home this week. What does it mean to be back at home finally for the new year, as well as having a little couple days to practice before getting back into it?
Yeah, you definitely feel like you can get in a routine and have more normalness and more normal practices and more normal rest and recovery and weightlifting and all those type of things. So you hope that helps for sure. I mean, we played 3 games in Ann Arbor, Michigan, Lynchburg, Virginia, and Miami, Florida. And so as we got some miles in last week. So you do hope that that going on the road is a struggle. That you feel like you got to take care of games at home. So for whatever reason, home road splits seem to be a very deciding factor in college basketball games. So obviously getting into our league, we're fortunate to split a road trip. I mean, in theory, we're 1-1, but we do have a road win against a very good opponent. So we're in good position. Our league is, I think, ranked 9th in America right now as far as strength goes. And so, our league is a challenge. Every single game, home or road, is going to be a challenge. But I definitely think that if we could choose either way, we'd rather play here, we'd rather have a consistency of a solid week. I think we've had a pretty good week so far, Monday, Tuesday, to midday today. And obviously it's been a couple weeks now since we played at home. So we definitely, I know there's excitement about our team, and I know the weather's a little shaky, but man, we certainly hope to have a great home crowd tomorrow, and I hope that everyone takes the time to come out and watch us play.
Like you said, conference play, it's a challenge. Every team is turning it on. Thedford really turned it on for his first outing for conference play. What would you think of his performance over the weekend?
I mean, he's a fearless competitor. He was probably our most efficient offensive player in both games as far as shooting percentage and getting to the free throw line and making plays for others. I think he scores because he makes the right play. So then the ball comes back and finds him, and he definitely got off to a good start coming back from break. So I thought he defended really well. I thought he's rebounding the ball a little bit more, trying to get him to do some other things other than scoring, and just continue to see that growth in him. So obviously he's had a great freshman year through 15 games, but we are 15 games in, 16 games to go. So hoping he can continue to make progress and continue to be a big part of our team.
Kind of an interesting 2-game set here. You guys are going against the top 2 offenses in the Conference USA. Start with Jacksonville, I think they're second in the league scorer of the air. Also, I think they have 2 of the top 3 rebounders too. So just kind of give me a breakdown on Jackson.
Very, very talented offensive team. Jerome Pierre is either second or third in the country in scoring, 23 a game, something like that. Can score from 3, can score off the bounce, can score at the rim. He is a professional scorer for sure, at the same time averaging 4 or 5 assists a game. So kind of a complete lead guard. He's certainly a focus of what they do on the offensive end. So I do think everything starts with him. Limiting him and limiting his effectiveness and getting the ball out of his hands and making some other guys beat us. I think, obviously just the numbers show that teams that have been able to do that are a little bit more effective. The big kid Nicholson's a returner. He rebounds the ball, scores inside. He's gotten better and better. They got a couple guys who can shoot the ball from 3, a couple kind of 6'6" tweeners. I mean, they're a couple returners. They've got a couple transfers that have really helped them. So, talented team for sure. They're scoring the ball. They're shooting the ball well. They're being very efficient on the offensive end, and we definitely have to try to limit their offensive efficiency if we're going to have success.
Rebound was a little bit of an issue last time out for you guys too. What was going on in that particular situation? Is that like, I think it was 41-27?
I don't know. I thought there were a lot of rebound. I mean, we were playing behind all game, so I don't know. I think when you fall down 12-2 and it's an uphill battle the entire game, obviously there's a lot of. I could point to about 10 different things that went wrong. I think in the second half of the Liberty game, we won 17-2 on second chance points in the second half, and I thought offensive rebounding was a big part of our success. We didn't really have any offensive rebound presence versus FIU, and obviously they were able to score some second chance points. So obviously we got to make sure we're better in that area.
Besides just offensive presence kind of in that first half and not really getting yourself in that hole to kind of start out with, what are a couple other things you're wanting to see from this team as they continue to build? I mean, they're kind of used to playing without Baba now, so kind of getting a group together is with the guys that you do have.
Yeah, just continuing to get back to almost where we were. I thought on offense in December we got better. We moved the ball better, a few more passes per possession. We were a little bit more patient at making plays for others. We were shooting the ball better from 3 because it was on the 3rd or 4th pass and it was a catch and shoot 3. So I just thought the ball movement and player movement was a lot better. Last 10, 12 minutes versus Liberty, I thought the ball movement and player movement was a lot better. We're not going to be able to just come down on 0 or 1 passes and just take guys one-on-one. And I think obviously in all 3 games we fell behind. So when you fall behind, a natural quickness, a natural, you don't want to ever feel a natural desperation. I felt like at FIU we were desperate to score. It was like, oh, here we go again. So when you fall behind in games, it does change the initial game plan because, you're running against a short clock. So we've been, the 120 minutes last week, we were losing for the large majority of them. And it is hard to be patient and to move the ball and to rotate and to get to the 3rd side and do all those things when you're racing the clock. So I think our offense wasn't as good. At the same time, I think that's because we fell right behind. We've got to get off to better starts in games. We've got to make sure the first media timeout, the second media timeout, that that we're playing basketball the way that we've showed that we can this year and in our past. So just really the beginning of games, being efficient on offense, but again, that's connected to the beginning of games, and we got to get our defense back better. I mean, I think at the end of the first half, we were, top 5% in the country at effective field goal percentage defense and three-point shooting percentage defense. And obviously, Michigan and FIU, we did not guard very well. So just being kind of a well-rounded team, kind of getting our win back, getting back to playing and trusting one another and continuing to improve. So I think those are natural growing, in this case in point, growing pains of the season, but I don't think it's very abnormal. I think it's something that there's going to be ebbs and flows, there's going to be ups and downs, and no doubt when you go on the road and play 3 teams on the road in 1 week, you're going to get exposed for what your weakness is, and you have to overcome them. So, we're at a point here in early January where I think we know what our weaknesses are, and we've been able to work for a couple of days to try to improve them, and hopefully that's able to show on the court here Thursday and Saturday.
Good seeing Blaze kind of working back in the one with it, 9 minutes, literally 3 against FIU. Where's he at with his progression? Close to 100%?
Yeah, I don't know what percent he is. I mean, he's playing, he's cleared, he's good to go. I thought the FIU game was just a fast and up and down game, and again, we're playing uphill, so it's just our game, but Blaze is practicing, he's healthy, he's good to go. I think he's, obviously he's missed a lot of time, so I just think he's got to continue to get up and down the floor and have better movements and things like that. So he's working hard every single day to keep improving. I think hopefully he's staying healthy, and that'll be a day-to-day improvement throughout the year. Hopefully this Thursday he's moving better than he was last Thursday. I think when I don't know, I've never been 6'11", 250 pounds before, but I do know that as you go through things and you miss time and you have leg injuries and things like that, I would think it takes a while to get back. So he's healthy, cleared, good to go. We need him, and hopefully he continues to make progress and can help us win games.
Something you mentioned on the post game too, I want to ask you about, you're kind of talking about the mentality sometimes of this team being the defending champion, maybe keeping them on task. Has that been an issue at all, a concern?
I didn't think so for the first half of the year. Obviously, probably just like you would imagine, been trying to figure out kind of our dynamic here in the last 10 days. And like I said, everything goes into it. I mean, everything's exposed when you play those games that we just played. So, I don't know. As we get into an 18-game league schedule, I guess to me, the natural, unfortunate thing about what happened last year that we face is we went 8-8 in the league and we made the NCAA tournament and everybody's happy. Our goal is not to go 500 in the league. So as a coach, do you worry that creeps in a little bit when you're in a one-bid league and we've proved that we made the tournament without winning the league? Yeah, I don't know, I worry about every little thing that could creep into these guys' minds. I think there's you want to mentally make sure that we stay in the moment with everything that we do. You want to make sure that the past doesn't affect what you do. You learn from it, but you stay in the present. You want to make sure the future doesn't, you're not thinking about the future and okay, yeah, we want to get, no, we're going to get to the tournament by working hard every single day and showing constant improvement. So you just want to keep the focus in the present, and no doubt when you struggle, as a coach, you try to push different buttons and figure out what it is, and I think that that's something. What I just told you is something we talked about this week. It's if we're gonna use the experience of going 8-8, making the tournament, all is good, and if we're gonna use that in a negative way, then no doubt it's something that cannot creep in. Every single day is important. We practice really hard on a Tuesday in June, on a Thursday in September. So wait a second, the games? Nah. If we don't show the games in every single minute, every single possession of games, the proper respect that they deserve, you will struggle and you will get worse from that, and we will not have the end result that we had. So I don't know. I guess like I said, there's a lot of different things that go into a week, and when you go play at Michigan, and as soon as we scheduled that game, we learned that we were at Liberty and at FIU right after. So I think we knew that if I had to identify what would be a challenging week in our season to start the year, that would have been it. And it was a challenge, and it did expose some things. And like I said, I'm thrilled to get one win out of it, and it was a big win, and it was a win that we showed what we're capable of. So we have to be that team that we know that we're capable of as much as possible, while understanding that you're not going to be perfect. You're not going to hit 1,000. You're not going to. I mean, there's going to be ebbs and flows. There's going to be ups and downs in the season. It's how it goes. But we got to stick together, stay present, and continue that uphill climb, and keep that chip on our shoulder, and keep that hunger that we've always had. And no doubt, as you get through the season, you're traveling, and it gets snowy out, and there's a lot of games. You as a coach, you want to just try to make sure that we do everything we can to make sure we still have that within us, and that we use that to get better and to have a great future.
I know the kind of recent trend we've talked about is just starting off really slow, getting down double digits pretty early in the game. I know you've been tweaking a little bit with that starting five. What kind of really goes into the decision making there before you kind of use a little bit of a platoon system and put the next five in?
I think when it comes to playing time, whether it's the beginning of the game or the end of the game, we're trying to base, obviously playing time is us predicting what's about to happen. With 3 minutes to go in a game, in a tie game, you play the guys that, based on the game and every day to day and everything leading up to that moment, you base playing. All right, who is going to help us win the game? And there's no science to it. You don't. Sometimes you don't. You go by the numbers, you go by the analytics, you go by your feel, you go by a lot of different things. And to me, the start of a game is the same way. And I guess I've always tried to reward the day-to-day and reward practice a little bit and reward who's consistent, who's working. I mean, I think that if you reward that, it inspired by starting, because everybody doesn't want to start. I'm aware of that. If you reward what goes into our process and our journey and every single day, I think that inspires other guys to want to do that. As a coach, if you show that you reward the guy that's the best communicator, the guy that's the first to every practice, or the guy that Coach Hall says is, man, he was the best in the weight room today. If you reward those things, I think it inspires more and more people to want to do those things to get that result, because everybody does want to start. So I don't know. I use it sometimes as that. I think if we can get in a little bit of a groove, that's a good thing. We kind of landed on a certain five there for a couple wins, and then Christian and Baba got hurt. So, analytically, that was our best lineup for a while, and we were getting off to good starts with that team, with that group. Really, since those injuries, we've just been kind of searching and trying to figure it out. So, a starting lineup, an ending lineup, it's all part of it, and we'll always keep trying different things until we figure out what we think works best for our group.
This is a team that's so far responded well in practice after these losses, setbacks. Or is that something you're still learning with them? I mean, you get a 10-5 game ahead a lot, so.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you take out, we lost the first 2 games of the year. We lost to 2 teams that are projected to be 2 seeds or 3 seeds right now. Saw Mick Cronin's press conference last night. I know what losing to Michigan can do to you. They're really good. Obviously, the FIU loss is, while being a challenging road game and back end of a trip, that's probably the first loss we've had that's, especially the beginning of the game, that was just disappointing with how we played. So, honestly, on Monday we had a great practice, to be perfectly honest with you. I thought yesterday went a little bit shorter, but the intensity was good. So we've had a good week so far. This is a team that's very competitive. This is a team that's won in the past. The individuals have won at different places. So I do think winning is the goal, and obviously that, how we lost at Michigan was for sure not what we planned. At the same time, I think the loss at FIU does wake you up a little bit, and certainly, obviously we lost there last year too, but it gains this team, this group, it's proof of how challenging our league is going to be. Going into Liberty, there's 13-1 record or whatever they were. That speaks for itself. You can naturally look at FIU's record a little bit and say, oh man, we should beat these guys. We shouldn't beat anybody. There's no should. You have to work for 40 minutes. You have to prepare to beat any team in the league, especially on the road. But I just think we have 2 games down, 16 games to go, and hopefully we can use that experience to make sure we know that, to make sure that we improve at how we prepare for these Thursday, Saturday swings.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you guys.